Hi everyone, welcome to Learning is Fun. This is the pre-algebra tutor. So today what we're going to be doing is exponents and their rules. Now, hopefully by this point in time, if you are watching any of my videos, you should know what exponents are. And you should know the basic foundations of exponents. If not, you can go back and watch my basic math tutor. I'm kind of getting that playlist in order, so once that is up, I will let you know. Be sure to check out our brand new website, learningisfun16.webnode.page, and let us know what you think about that. So, exponents. Again, everyone should know the basic outline of an exponent. Again, if you don't, be sure to go back and watch any of the basic math tutor videos on this channel. So the basic definition of an exponent is going to be something like this. Now, before I move on, let me just say something really important. And as an educator, especially as a math professor, I see this problem arise so often, and to be honest, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. But I also blame modern day mathematics and the way people teach it, so it's okay. Many people think that this little value to the upper right corner of the bigger value, they think that this is the exponent. Now that is not. The exponent is the entire thing. Now let me again kind of review exponents. So this bigger value down on the bottom is what we call a base. Some people, I don't use it that often, but some people also call it a coefficient. Same thing, base coefficient. This, now, for those of you who are good at technology, maybe you're used to, Microsoft Word, Google Documents, those type of things, you might remember this as a superscript. In mathematics, we do not use that term, but that is one way for you to remember that little value in the upper right hand corner of the bigger value is a superscript. But in mathematics, the most common term we use is a power. So it's a base raised to a power, and how you say it if you were writing down an exponent. And then, like I said, this whole thing is an exponent, not this little value in the upper right hand corner. So what is an exponent? If we were to just forget everything that a modern day 21st century math textbook would teach you, or what your mathematics professor might tell you, what is the bare bones, or since I'm a scientific person, what are the atoms that make an exponent? Exponent is just a really fancy way of doing repeated multiplication, right? So instead of, if I have something like this, all right, let's say I had a really big number and it went on, like 20 more number twos in the future, that's going to take me a really long time to write that out. So the most simple way of writing this is going to be, again, a base raised to a power, and this is going to be the power of 5. So this means the same thing as this, it's just a shorthand of writing it. Especially when we get into the Algebra 1, Algebra 2 tutors, and even if you tune into my pre-calc and my calculus tutors, you're going to have numbers on, let's say, 2 raised to the 100th power. You do not want to write the number 2 out 100 times. They're going to be there all day, and in mathematics, we don't have all day. Not to frighten you, but if you take one of my classes, I give you a time limit on everything I do. So this is just exponents are just a simple way of doing repeated multiplication. Now, let me give you a little bit of a caution or a warning here. This 2 raised to the power of 5 does not equal, that's what that means, does not equal 2 times 5, which is going to give me a product of 10 or a result of 10. 2 raised to the power of 5 means that I'm going to take the number 2 and multiply it against itself how many times? 5 times. Now, what we're going to be talking about in a second in this video is I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can solve 2 raised to the power of 5 in a much better and quicker manner. But let's go over just a couple of the most common examples of exponents you might find. And when I said earlier at the beginning of this video that you should have known this material by now by doing basic mathematics, these are those types of examples. So a real common one is going to be 2 raised to the power of 3. We say, so that is 2 raised to the power of 3, or what I want you to get in a habit of, especially if you're going to be watching my videos, is going to be 2 cubed. That is the way we're going to say anything that is raised to the power of 3, we're going to say that raised, that cube. Alright, now, for a while, if you say 2 raised to the power of 3, no big deal, that's nothing to get upset over. The world isn't going to end by saying raised to the power of 3. But the further advanced you get in mathematics, this is going to be the way to go. 2 cubed, 5 cubed, 1,000 cubed. It all means the same thing. 1,000 raised to the power of 3, which is going to be 1,000 multiplied by 1,000 multiplied by 1,000, not 1,000 times 3, okay? So, again, so let me write this out. Alright, so 2 cubed, or 2 raised to the power of 3, that does not mean 2 times 3. What this means is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by itself 3 times. That's what 2 raised to the power of 3 or 2 cubed means. Now, you might be wondering, what is that little dot in between the number 2? That is just a way of denoting or writing out multiplication. Especially in algebra, when you write something like this means the same thing as this. But in algebra and in calculus and even in geometry and trigonometry, this is referred to as an alphabetical variable, not as an operational variable. So let's say, you should probably stop writing out multiplication like this by the time you're in the 5th grade. I mean, that's the ideal age. But in algebra, we might have something like this, 2x. And then if we do something like this, you're going to say, well, wait a minute, what is an operational sign and what is an alphabetical variable? They both look the same to me, right? And they are the same visually, but mathematically they are 2 very different operations. So that's why we write it like this. Another way of denoting or writing multiplication is going to be a variable, whether it's a number variable like 2 or an alphabetical variable, 2 times something in parentheses. Any variable that's to a set of parentheses also denotes multiplication. So with that being said, let's solve 2 cubed, or 2 raised to the power of 3. So I just said 2 cubed does not mean 2 multiplied by 3.